In life, every desire we hold within our hearts is not random. It is a divine signal, a whisper from the universe guiding us toward our true potential. Dr. Wayne Dyer often reminded us that desires are not about greed or selfishness. They are spiritual seeds planted within us, waiting for us to nurture them with faith, intention, and action. The spiritual path to fulfilling your desires is not about chasing what you lack, but aligning yourself with the higher energy of creation, trusting that what you seek is already seeking you. When you embrace this truth, you begin to live not from fear or limitation, but from abundance and purpose. When you begin to recognize desire not as something trivial, selfish, or materialistic, but as divine guidance, you step into a new way of seeing your life and the energy that flows through it. Desire is not born in a vacuum. It is not simply a random thought or an accidental impulse that enters your mind. It is, in its truest essence, a message from the higher source, a nudge from the universe that is pointing you toward the path of your greatest fulfillment. Every desire you carry deep inside you, whether it is the desire to create, to love, to serve, or to accomplish something meaningful, is connected to the energy of life itself. Wayne Dyer often said that desires are placed in our hearts because they already exist in the field of possibility, and the very fact that you can imagine them means they are part of your spiritual blueprint. Think about it this way: a seed knows exactly what it is destined to become, and a corn carries within it the full potential of a mighty oak tree. It does not doubt its own nature, nor does it question whether it is worthy of becoming that oak. It simply grows into what it was designed to be. In the same way, your desires are seeds planted by the divine, and they carry within them the energy, the possibility, and the blueprint for their fulfillment. When you feel a strong pull towards something greater, something inspiring, that is the universe whispering to you, reminding you of who you truly are and what you are here to express. The challenge for many people is that they misinterpret desire. They confuse it with shallow cravings or fleeting wants that arise from comparison, fear, or ego. But when you look deeper, when you quiet your mind and listen to your soul, you will notice that true desire feels different. It feels like a calling, an inner knowing that transcends logic. It may not make sense to the world around you, and it may even feel intimidating, but it carries a sense of truth and alignment. Recognizing desire as divine guidance means trusting that those inner urges are not just wishful thinking. They are spiritual directions pointing you toward your purpose. When you resist your desires, when you label them as impossible or unworthy, you are in fact resisting the flow of divine energy. The universe is always expanding, always creating, and it seeks to expand through you. To deny your desires is to deny the divine expression of life that wants to move through your unique being. The desires you hold are not random. They are as unique as your fingerprints, and they are given to you because you have the ability to bring them into form. No one else has the exact same combination of talents, experiences, and energy as you do, which means your desires were planted in you for a reason. When you begin to honor your desires as sacred, you stop asking whether you are worthy of them and start asking how you can align with them. This shift is powerful because it moves you from a mindset of lack and doubt into one of trust and receptivity. The moment you declare to yourself that your desires are divine, you start to feel the presence of guidance in your life. You begin to notice synchronicities, doors opening, and opportunities appearing as if by magic. This is not coincidence. It is the universe responding to your willingness to trust the call within you. It is important to understand that recognizing desire as divine guidance does not mean everything will fall into place instantly or without effort. It means that the path toward your desires will unfold with a sense of support and flow when you step into alignment. You may face challenges, obstacles, or delays, but these are not signs that your desire is wrong. They are simply part of the process of growth and preparation. Just as a seed must push through the soil before it sees the sunlight, you too may need to break through layers of resistance before your desire blossoms into reality. Another key aspect of recognizing desire as divine guidance is learning to distinguish between desires that come from the ego and desires that come from the soul. Ego-driven desires often carry a sense of urgency, competition, or comparison. They are about proving something, gaining approval, or trying to fill an inner void. Soul-driven desires, on the other hand, feel expansive, peaceful, and deeply connected to your purpose. They are less about impressing others and more about expressing your true self. They bring you joy not only in their fulfillment, but even in the journey toward them. When you sit quietly and reflect, you can sense the difference. The soul's desires are steady and persistent, like a gentle flame that never goes out. Once you start to see desire as a spiritual compass, you can live with more intention and clarity. You stop chasing random goals that don't truly resonate with you and instead align your energy with what genuinely matters. You start asking, what is this desire trying to teach me? What part of my higher self is being expressed through this longing? By reframing your desires in this way, you turn them into stepping stones on your spiritual journey rather than distractions or indulgences. Desire is also a form of communication between you and the divine. It is how the universe speaks through your heart. When you honor it, you are in conversation with creation itself. When you dismiss it, you are essentially closing yourself off from that dialogue. Imagine if every time you felt an authentic desire, you responded with openness and curiosity rather than doubt and fear. Your life would begin to unfold in ways that feel guided, purposeful, and aligned with a greater flow. Recognizing desire as divine guidance also calls for faith. Faith that what you are drawn toward is not only possible but meant for you. Faith that you would not have been given this desire if you were not also given the ability to fulfill it. Faith that the universe supports your expansion because your expansion contributes to the expansion of all. This faith allows you to step forward even when the path is not fully clear. You do not need to know every step ahead of time. You only need to trust the first step, and the next will reveal itself. When you embody this perspective, life begins to feel less like a struggle and more like a dance. You stop forcing outcomes and start flowing with the guidance of your desires. You realize that your desires are not meant to enslave you with longing, but to liberate you by showing you what you are capable of creating. They are not chains that bind you to restlessness, but wings that lift you to a higher expression of yourself. In this way, desire becomes a sacred teacher. It shows you where your soul is yearning to grow. It reveals the areas of your life where you are ready to expand, to love more deeply, to create more fully, to serve more generously. And every time you follow a true desire, you become more aligned with your higher self, more connected to the divine, and more attuned to the infinite possibilities of life. Recognizing desire as divine guidance means treating it with reverence, listening to it with patience, and acting on it with courage. It is about embracing the truth that your desires are not flaws to be suppressed, but gifts to be honored. They are the whispers of the universe reminding you that you are a co-creator, that you are part of something vast and beautiful, and that your life is meant to be a living expression of divine energy flowing through form. To trust the universal laws of attraction and alignment is to step into an understanding that life is not governed by randomness or chance, but by principles that are as constant and reliable as the physical laws we see in nature. Just as gravity holds the planets in orbit and ensures that objects fall when released, there are spiritual laws that shape the unfolding of our lives, laws that connect our inner world with the outer world. The law of attraction is one of the most powerful of these, reminding us that like energy attracts like energy, that whatever we hold in our minds and hearts consistently begins to take form in our reality. To trust this law is to acknowledge that we are not separate from the universe, but participants in its creation, sending out signals through our thoughts, emotions, and beliefs that magnetize corresponding experiences toward us. When you deeply understand this, you start to recognize the importance of alignment. Alignment is the state of being in harmony with your true self, with the divine energy that flows through all things. It is not enough to simply want something or to think about it occasionally. The universe responds not just to casual wishes, but to the dominant vibration you carry. If your thoughts are filled with doubt, fear, or lack, then the energy you are sending out is misaligned with the desire you are trying to attract. On the other hand, when you cultivate feelings of faith, gratitude, and certainty, when you live as though your desire is already unfolding, you enter into alignment. And the universe responds by arranging circumstances, people, and opportunities that reflect that vibration back to you. This is why trusting the universal laws requires more than intellectual belief. It requires a shift in the way you live every moment. It means paying attention to the quality of your inner dialogue, because every thought is a form of energy that either attracts or repels what you seek. If you constantly affirm limitations, you are sending out a signal of scarcity, and the universe mirrors that back to you with more limitation. If you affirm abundance, love, and possibility, the universe responds with matching experiences. This is not about denial or pretending difficulties do not exist. It is about choosing to consistently hold a higher vision and refusing to let fear become the dominant frequency of your life. Many people misunderstand the law of attraction, thinking it is only about wishing for material things or repeating affirmations without inner conviction. But the deeper truth is that the law works through the alignment of thought, feeling, and action. If you say you desire success but feel unworthy and act without confidence, you are not aligned, and the universe cannot deliver what you are not truly embodying. Alignment requires congruence. Your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors must reflect the energy of the outcome you wish to create. When you embody the vibration of what you seek, you no longer chase after it. It begins to flow toward you because you are resonating with it. Trusting these universal laws also means letting go of the need to control every detail. The ego wants to dictate how and when things should happen, but the universe often brings us what we desire in ways we could not predict. Alignment allows us to release rigid expectations and instead hold steady to the feeling of fulfillment, knowing that the form it takes will be perfect for our growth and joy. This surrender is not weakness, it is wisdom, because it acknowledges that the universal intelligence has a broader perspective than our limited human minds. The oak tree does not demand that the rain fall on a specific day, it simply trusts that the rain will come in the right season. In the same way, when you align with the vibration of your desire and trust the laws, you allow the unfolding to happen naturally. Consider how often people focus on what they do not want rather than on what they do want. They speak of their problems, their fears, and their limitations, unaware that by giving so much attention and emotion to these conditions, they are reinforcing them. The law of attraction does not distinguish between what you want and what you do not want. It simply amplifies whatever you focus on. If your attention is consumed by lack, you draw more lack. If your attention is filled with gratitude and vision, you draw more of what you are grateful for. This is why trust is so important, because even when external circumstances seem difficult, you must continue to hold faith in the unseen, to know that the energy you nurture within will eventually manifest without. Alignment also calls for integrity with your higher self. When your desires are ego-driven and disconnected from your soul, you may find that even if you attract them, they bring no true fulfillment. But when your desires are aligned with love, service, creativity, and growth, the universe supports them because they resonate with the greater flow of life. Trusting the universal laws is not about manipulating reality for selfish gain. It is about co-creating with the divine in a way that benefits both you and the greater whole. When your desires uplift you and contribute to others, they are infused with a higher energy that accelerates their manifestation. The practice of trusting these laws requires daily discipline. Meditation, visualization, affirmations, and gratitude are all tools that help you maintain alignment. Visualization allows you to create the inner image of your desired outcome, and when combined with strong emotion, it impresses that image upon your subconscious mind, which then begins to act as a magnet. Gratitude raises your vibration instantly because it shifts your focus from lack to abundance. Meditation quiets the mind and clears resistance, allowing you to hear the guidance of your intuition. Affirmations, when spoken with conviction, reprogram limiting beliefs and establish new patterns of thought that support your alignment. Each of these practices strengthens your trust in the universal laws because they give you direct experiences of their effects over time. One of the most profound aspects of alignment is that it does not only change what you attract, it changes who you become. As you practice holding higher vibrations, you naturally evolve into a more confident, peaceful, and purposeful person. You no longer wait for external conditions to validate your worth. You cultivate the inner state first, and the outer world mirrors it back. This is the essence of trusting the laws, knowing that the inner always precedes the outer, that the world you see is a reflection of the vibration you hold. There will always be moments of doubt, setbacks, or delays, but these are opportunities to deepen your trust. Just as the seed takes time to grow underground before breaking through the soil, your desires may require patience. During this time, alignment is tested. Will you continue to hold faith even when you see no evidence yet? Those who persist, who continue to nurture the vibration of their desire without succumbing to fear, are the ones who eventually witness the miraculous unfolding of their dreams. Trust is the bridge that carries you across the gap between the unseen and the seen, between the inner vision and the outer manifestation. Trusting the universal laws of attraction and alignment is not merely a philosophy, it is a way of life. It calls you to live consciously, to be aware of the energy you are transmitting, to take responsibility for your inner state. It invites you to become a deliberate creator rather than a passive observer. to understand that you are always attracting whether you are conscious of it or not. By choosing alignment with love, gratitude, and faith, you align yourself with the creative power of the universe, and life begins to respond in ways that are nothing short of extraordinary. To practice gratitude as a magnet for manifestation is to awaken to one of the most transformative forces available to you in the universe. Gratitude is not simply a polite response or a fleeting acknowledgement. When something goes right, it is a state of being, a vibration that aligns your energy with abundance, wholeness, and possibility. When you live in gratitude, you tune yourself to the frequency of receiving, and the universe cannot help but respond by offering more of what you are already appreciating. The law of attraction amplifies what you focus on, and gratitude focuses your mind and heart on the blessings that already exist, thus multiplying them. Gratitude shifts the way you see the world. Instead of looking at life as a series of lacks, problems, or struggles, gratitude helps you recognize that even in difficulty, there is something to be thankful for, something that is supporting your growth, teaching you a lesson, or preparing you for a greater outcome. This shift in perception is powerful because it changes your inner vibration from scarcity to abundance. When you give thanks for what you already have, no matter how small, you signal to the universe that you are ready for more. You demonstrate that you recognize and honor the gifts that life has already placed in your path, and in doing so, you invite an even greater flow. Gratitude is magnetic because it works on both conscious and subconscious levels. Consciously, when you say thank you for your health, relationships, opportunities, or even for the simple gift of being alive, you create a mental focus on positivity. Subconsciously, your mind begins to interpret your reality through the lens of abundance rather than lack. You start noticing opportunities, solutions, and connections that were invisible to you when you were focused on problems. This new awareness changes your actions, and your actions change your outcomes. In this way, gratitude is not passive, it is an active force that transforms your life from the inside out. It is easy to underestimate the power of gratitude because it seems so simple. But the truth is that simplicity is what makes it profound. The most extraordinary shifts often come from the smallest practices. Take a moment each morning to list 3 things you are grateful for, and you will begin to feel your energy shift for the entire day. Express gratitude before you fall asleep, and your subconscious mind carries that vibration into your rest, attracting even more to be grateful for. Gratitude practiced consistently becomes a habit, and a habit becomes a way of being. Once gratitude is ingrained in your daily life, manifestation becomes a natural outcome rather than a forced effort. One of the reasons gratitude is such a powerful magnet is because it eliminates resistance. Often, people block the manifestation of their desires by focusing on what is missing or by complaining about what is not working. This resistance creates a vibration of lack, which delays or even repels the very things they are hoping to attract. Gratitude dissolves this resistance because it shifts your focus to what is present and abundant. When you say thank you for what is already in your life, you release the tension of needing more in order to be happy. This state of satisfaction allows energy to flow freely, and in that openness, the universe can deliver new blessings with ease. Another dimension of gratitude is that it amplifies love, joy, and peace within you. When you are thankful, you cannot simultaneously be resentful, envious, or fearful. Gratitude neutralizes negative emotions and replaces them with higher states of being. These higher states are precisely the vibrations that attract positive experiences into your life. When you are filled with gratitude, you naturally become more magnetic to people, opportunities, and circumstances that resonate with that same energy. Your relationships improve because you begin to notice and appreciate the good in others instead of focusing on their flaws. Your work becomes more fulfilling because you value the opportunities it provides. Your health improves because you stop criticizing your body and start honoring it for carrying you through life. Gratitude also strengthens your connection to the divine. When you pause to appreciate the gifts around you, you are acknowledging the source from which they flow. This acknowledgement opens your heart and creates a deeper spiritual alignment. You stop seeing yourself as separate from the universe and begin to see yourself as part of its endless generosity. In this space of reverence, your desires are no longer seen as selfish demands, but as natural expressions of the abundance that already exists. The more you give thanks, the more you align with the universal flow of giving and receiving. It is important to note that gratitude is not conditional. If you only express gratitude when things are going your way, you miss its deeper power. True gratitude is unconditional. It is the ability to give thanks not only in moments of triumph, but also in moments of challenge, when you can look at a setback and say, "Thank you for the lesson this is teaching me," or "Thank you for the strength I am developing through this experience." You transform difficulty into an opportunity. This level of gratitude demonstrates absolute trust in the universe, and such trust draws even greater manifestations into your life. Gratitude is also creative because it inspires action. When you feel thankful for your talents, you want to use them. When you feel grateful for opportunities, you want to seize them. When you feel gratitude for relationships, you want to nurture them. These inspired actions create ripples that lead to even more abundance. Gratitude does not make you passive or complacent. It fuels you to contribute more, to serve more, and to create more, which in turn multiplies the blessings in your life. Think about the people you are naturally drawn to. Are they not often those who radiate appreciation and positivity? Gratitude makes you magnetic not just to circumstances, but to people. It attracts mentors, partners, friends, and allies who resonate with your energy. When you consistently show appreciation, others want to be around you, support you, and collaborate with you. This network of positive relationships further accelerates your manifestations. Gratitude also opens the door to greater clarity about your desires. When you are in a state of appreciation, you quiet the noise of fear and doubt, and in that quiet, your true desires become clearer. Often, when people are dissatisfied, they confuse their longing with 100 different wants, but gratitude helps you see what truly matters. By focusing on what you already love, you naturally align with more of what brings you joy. This clarity ensures that what you attract is not only abundant, but also deeply fulfilling. Another profound aspect of gratitude is that it creates resilience. Life is filled with ups and downs, but gratitude allows you to maintain stability through both. When you are thankful, you are less shaken by temporary setbacks because you always have something to anchor you in positivity. This resilience is magnetic because it prevents you from falling into the vibration of despair, which would otherwise repel your desires. Gratitude keeps your energy elevated even in storms, ensuring that you remain aligned with manifestation. The practice of gratitude can also be extended beyond yourself. When you express appreciation to others, you amplify not only your own energy, but theirs as well. A simple "thank you" spoken sincerely can uplift another person, strengthening their energy and creating a cycle of positivity that benefits both of you. The more gratitude you express outwardly, the more you create an environment where abundance flows freely. Gratitude multiplies not just in your own life, but in the lives of those you touch. Gratitude is a magnet because it embodies the truth that abundance is not something you chase, it is something you recognize. When you see the abundance that already exists, you bring yourself into harmony with the universal truth that life is overflowing with possibility. From this state of harmony, manifestation becomes inevitable because the universe always gives more to the one who is already thankful. To live in harmony with love, service, and abundance is to embody the highest frequency of human existence and to align yourself fully with the divine energy that creates worlds. Love is the foundation, the essence of who you are at the deepest level, the force that flows through every living being and connects all of creation. When you live from love, you step beyond the boundaries of fear, competition, and scarcity, and you enter into a state where life feels expansive and meaningful. Love is not only a feeling you offer to others, it is the way you perceive the world, the way you choose to show up, and the vibration you radiate. Every thought, word, and action infused with love carries the power to transform not only your own life, but also the lives of everyone you encounter. Service is the natural outflow of living in love. When you recognize your connection to others, you begin to understand that your purpose is not only about personal gain, but about contributing to the well-being of the collective. Service does not mean sacrifice or depletion. It means expressing your gifts, talents, and energy in a way that uplifts and benefits others. When you serve, you align yourself with the law of circulation, where what you give freely returns to you multiplied. This is why those who live in service often find that abundance flows to them effortlessly. The universe supports those who contribute to its expansion, and service is the clearest way to participate in that expansion. Abundance is the natural consequence of living in love and service. Abundance is not just about wealth or material possessions. It is the overflowing state of having enough of everything you need: time, energy, creativity, opportunities, and connections. Abundance is a state of mind as much as it is a state of being. When you live in alignment with love and service, you no longer see life through the lens of lack. You trust that the universe is infinitely generous, that by being a channel of giving, you open yourself to receiving. Abundance becomes your natural vibration, and it manifests in every area of your life. Living in harmony with love, service, and abundance requires a shift in consciousness. Most people are conditioned to live in survival mode, believing that life is a constant struggle, that resources are limited, and that they must fight or compete for what they want. This scarcity mindset creates stress, fear, and conflict. But when you step into harmony, you realize that love dissolves fear, service eliminates competition, and abundance destroys scarcity. These three forces work together to create a life of balance and flow. Love guides your intentions, service guides your actions, and abundance becomes the result. To embody love is to see beyond appearances. It is to look at others not for their flaws or limitations, but for their divine essence. When you look at another person with love, you call forth the highest in them, and you also call forth the highest in yourself. This practice creates harmony because it shifts relationships from judgment and criticism to compassion and understanding. When you live from love, you no longer need to control others or demand that they change. Instead, you radiate acceptance and presence, and this energy invites transformation naturally. Service becomes an extension of this love. You begin to ask yourself not only, what can I get, but what can I give? Service does not have to be grand or dramatic. It can be as simple as offering a kind word, listening deeply to someone, or using your skills to solve a problem for others. When you approach life with the mindset of service, every interaction becomes an opportunity to contribute. This orientation shifts you from a self-centered existence to a life that is expansive and fulfilling, because true joy comes from giving. The paradox is that when you give selflessly, you receive more than you ever imagined. Peace, purpose, and often even material abundance flow back to you as part of the universal balance. Abundance in this sense is not something you chase, it is something you allow. The moment you align with love and service, you open the door to abundance because you are no longer resisting the natural flow of life. Scarcity arises when people hoard fear or cling, but abundance arises when people trust, give, and circulate energy. Money, opportunities, and blessings are like water. They must flow. When you block the flow with fear or selfishness, you create stagnation. But when you circulate with love and service, you keep yourself open to the endless stream of abundance that the universe is always offering. Living in harmony with these three principles requires practice and awareness. It begins with love for yourself, because you cannot truly give to others what you do not embody within. Many people struggle with self-criticism and doubt, believing they are unworthy of love or abundance. But to live in harmony, you must begin by honoring yourself as a divine being, worthy of love and capable of giving it freely. Self-love is not arrogance. It is the recognition that you are an extension of divine energy. When you see yourself with love, you naturally extend that love outward, and service becomes joyful rather than burdensome. Service is not about neglecting your own needs, but about recognizing that your highest joy comes from contributing in ways that resonate with your soul. You do not have to serve in the same way as others. Your unique gifts define your path of service. For one person, service may mean creating art that inspires. For another, it may mean teaching, healing, or building something that benefits others. The key is to align your service with love so that it flows authentically from you. When you serve from love, you are never depleted, you are replenished because you are expressing your true nature. Abundance then becomes the atmosphere in which you live. You begin to notice opportunities everywhere because your mindset has shifted from not enough to more than enough. Even when challenges arise, you trust that abundance is still flowing and that solutions are on their way. This trust creates peace, and peace itself is a form of abundance. In relationships, abundance shows up as connection, kindness, and mutual support. In health, it shows up as energy, vitality, and resilience. In finances, it shows up as prosperity and stability. Abundance is not limited to one area. It is the overflow of the entire life you create when you live in harmony. Love, service, and abundance also create a cycle that sustains itself. The more love you embody, the more naturally you serve. The more you serve, the more abundance flows into your life. The more abundance you receive, the more love you have to share. This cycle becomes a perpetual motion of giving and receiving, creating harmony within you and around you. This is why people who live in this way often appear radiant, joyful, and fulfilled. They are not struggling to survive. They are thriving because they are aligned with the deepest truths of existence. Living in harmony with these principles also elevates the collective consciousness. When you live in love, you inspire others to do the same. When you serve, you create ripples of kindness and support that extend far beyond your immediate actions. When you embody abundance, you prove to others that scarcity is an illusion and that generosity is the true path to fulfillment. Your personal harmony becomes a contribution to global harmony because the energy you radiate adds to the collective field. Ultimately, love, service, and abundance are not separate forces. They are expressions of the same divine energy seen from different angles. Love is the essence, service is the expression, and abundance is the result. When you live in harmony with them, you align yourself with the natural rhythm of the universe, a rhythm that is always expanding, giving, and creating. This harmony becomes the foundation for a life of peace, joy, and fulfillment, not because you are trying to manipulate reality, but because you are living in alignment with its deepest truth.